Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Nicky broadcast. It's been a while, but it's worth the wait because I'm bringing you scenario 3 of World Conquest, and it's a scenario unlike anything we've seen before, and you will see what I mean in a second if you bear with me. Totally worth the wait and totally worth your attention, in my opinion. So let's see here. We are going versus 3 players. For those of you who have not seen scenarios 1 and 2, very educative. Please go ahead on my channel, look them up. They should be the previous 2 episodes. And again, bring yourself up to speed. Highly recommend before I make any spoilers. So let's dive in now. What's this? It is a long time since strangers have set foot upon Morag-Du, and in such great numbers too. So loyalist wants, the time of prophecies is upon us. The destroyers have arrived from beyond the sea. And a dwarf, I don't know what the lizard is babbling about. Probably he was trying to say, I don't know what the dwarf is babbling about, but we'll sort these destroyers out quickly enough. So, loyalist, dwarf, and elf. Very difficult factions to deal with. Not only that, but look at this. 1, 2, 3. This is a line of death right across the middle of the map, splitting the map into 2. So this is a situation that basically forces us to be mobile, highly mobile. We can't just sit tight and fight back all 3 of them. It would be impossible. I mean, it's just too many coming out from too many directions. I mean, if you look here, there's no way I could hide. I could try maybe around this area and try to pray, but it just won't cut it. I mean, it's scenario 3. They have level 2s. Perhaps a level 3 in the mix. I'm not really sure. We will see. I don't really remember. But I think there's also some level 3s in the beginning. But we shall see soon enough. Now, looking at these 3, we can see, though, that a bit of a saving grace is the western enemy is a bit locked in here. So if we were here, for example, if this keep would be swapped with the southern keep, and if Drake were the one to be west, then that would have been just perfect. Drake could have basically defended this easily for ages, and red could have helped him a bit, or perhaps green could have helped red a bit. This particular side here, this particular path, right? This backstabbing path would have been secured, right, in between these 2 enemies, and we would have had the enemies coming in from one direction. But this just makes things extremely interesting, because now let's also look. This is an important thing nobody ever talks about. So we see that the actual order is purple, gray, brown. So it's really important to see who is purple, who is gray, who is brown, so in order to see where do we run to. So at this point, I was a bit blocked. I did not know what to do. This is because of the mountain here, because some terrain here, and because elf. I mean, I know that this player is elf now, obviously, because I already played the game. But so elf is here. Made a bit of a spoiler. So elf does need to go around quite a lot in order to reach us. So from this perspective, considering that I am here with red, I should fight this opponent, the closest opponent, as soon as possible, try to kill his level 2s before the rest of the level 2s come along this path. So as long as I can basically make some really quick kills here on core units, then I could perhaps have an easier time holding off the other 2 opponents. So basically, I was thinking perhaps I can lure some units from the middle player, kill them off, and then run left or right. Drake has to run. He can't stay still. It's just there's no natural fortress here. This looks like a natural fortress. There is some water here that people can't. I mean, soldiers can't really pour in from this side. They will have to go through these swamps, and against sand, and then they reach these the hills and mountain here, and they have to really go through a lot of terrain that slows them down. Also going around, by the time this will be reached, then I will probably have tons of problems to deal with on this side, and by the time this attack happens, if these problems were solved, then I can deal with this attack when it arrives, no problem. If I'm already dead, then this attack doesn't really matter. So from this perspective, red is in a much better position than green. Is it green? Yes, it is green. But I think it's right. It's good and bad at the same time. I mean, it's bad because Drake, right? It's an easy target, but at the same time, Drake has a lot of mobility. So I would prefer to be Drake out in the open rather than being Elf out in the open. Anyway, let's crack on. Let's see how I actually play this. Standard village grabbing, of course, sending the ghost, trying to really benefit from its movement. Now, I did recruit this level 3 troll warrior. It's again, it's not paying upkeep because it has an artifact. And then I tried to recruit units that could benefit from my absolutely fantastic training level. So if you remember, we have quite good training level here. I believe it's see here, yeah. So it's already level 3 rangers training. So it is. Look at this added defense is absolutely fantastic. No movement penalty at all. So I was trying, and I marked this particular elvish fighter simply because it had perfect traits to grab this artifact. If I remember correctly, it was a melee drain artifact. So I really wanted a melee unit with lots of perks, right? Training perks. These two, I believe they are not too bad. This one, excellent, free upkeep. This is basically, I mean, it does not have an artifact to provide bonuses in terms of attack and defense, but it does have free upkeep as if it had an artifact, which is great. This is definitely a unit to be investing in. I went with this Merman Hunter simply because I did want to get this village, and then perhaps this village, perhaps help myself a bit with this defense here on 70%. One Merman Hunter is absolutely fine. So on the Drake side, perhaps here I shouldn't have stopped for the village. I should have pushed even farther to try to get the Glommer's ruin as soon as possible. So from this perspective, Drake is fine because it has its bonus point relatively nearby. The same cannot be said about the red bonus point, but as you remember, and I'm sure you remember, last turn, red got 2 bonus points. Therefore, this is not red's bonus point, this is green's bonus point. So one strategy would be run towards the bonus point, but this is a very insignificant addition to your army. You should always run towards what makes most sense strategically. This is a very low priority objective. Okay, so again, bringing my firemen, my ranged fire magical necrophage, which should have a nice sword here to mark him as a unit with an artifact, but doesn't matter. Bringing my dark sorcerer, and now I'm trying to take again. I immediately marked this unit with this sword icon here because I want him to get this particular item. Look, plus 2 HP, plus 4 HP, plus 10% HP. I believe now Drake has full hit point training. So let's see. Oh, okay. I see what's going on. You see the order here of the players, and now I'm pushing my troll warrior forward, but I don't know what lies ahead of me, right? I should have probably, I mean, this red player is going to, I mean, it's so close to this, so close. So there's no way, I thought to myself, there's no way scouting would be relevant, but this is very relevant. I should have recruited a scout first so I can see exactly what I'm going against, because I didn't recruit a scout first, and this is a mistake. Always recruit a scout first. Then I had to be a bit more conservative with the troll warrior here forward on 30%. He can deal with absolutely everything, not a problem, simply because tough units don't have that much movement, so he should be absolutely fine. And supporting him a bit of level 1 units. I definitely need the Wowzers next. Why? Because Wowzers are slow, and you see here the artifact drains on this. Wowzers are slow, and you do want them in the second wave at the latest, so they can be there forward. These will play a very important role, simply because look at their traits. This one is also fearless. This is an unbelievable trait. This one has distract and ambush. You remember them. They are going to be absolutely key if I'm going to hold off this aggression. Now, let's see here. Okay, so several pieces of information here. Obviously, the bonus point, the most important one. And this was, again, I was very happy to see this. Not an artifact, not a unit, but some more training. And I got melee combat training level 1. That was absolutely perfect, simply because I hadn't recruited that many units. And this actually enticed me to recruit a bit more melee units rather than keep recruiting adepts and augurs, right? So melee combat training level 1, this was really important. Really happy to see it. And as you see here, I am going to keep recruiting my core units, my healers, simply because I expected fighting to break out relatively quickly. You saw there, I saw the Griffin Rider with, when I got the artifact, I saw here with the edge of my Elvish captain's range, I saw the Griffin Rider, and I don't remember the color, but I believe it was grey. Okay, I believe it was grey. So basically, a grey player is in the middle, and he's dwarf, and he is going to recruit lots of griffins by the looks of it. I mean, I already saw one mean level 2 Griffin Rider. That's why I was so conservative here with my placement, and that's good news. Why? Because it means if the grey player in the middle is on position 5, it means one of these two, right, is going to go. One of these two is going to go first. One of these two is going to go last. It is best to run towards the player that plays first. Why? Because you run towards the player. Let's say I run towards purple, right? Whoever purple is, I run towards purple. Then purple attacks me. Purple envelops my units, right? And then purple enveloping my units is like a protective layer, right? Whereas against grey and brown. So if unsure how to move around the map, move towards the AI player that goes first, right? Because let's say I go versus brown. Let's say I attack brown. I run towards brown. I attack brown, and then sure, on one side it will be full of brown, but on the other side, purple and grey will be able to attack me, because running towards brown, I have just left my other side free. But if I do go really deep into purple territory, I might have a chance to really get 75% of my area covered by purple units. But of course, I have to also time my attack in such a manner that I attack purple during the time of day when he is at its weakest. Right? So a lot of details that people do not talk about, but you really need to leverage in order to finish this map. So remember, most ideally, I would run towards purple. But again, considering how the map is laid out, this would also be, another criteria would be run away from this player here, simply because it would be difficult. He is quite walled in, but the walls means the walls also restrict his movement, right? So he will be a bit slow in attacking. So if I run away from him, I can be fighting two opponents and basically delaying my encounter with this player here. Okay, let's see here. Purple. Am I going to see purple this turn or not? Is purple moving? Is purple not moving? Not really sure. Okay, there is gray. 2 hits. Really pleased to see that. And as you can see, level 3 coming out at me. Really difficult to deal with. And that is, my dear friends, absolutely insane. Simply because dwarf is in the middle. This means no matter what I do, I will be fighting dwarf. Best thing to do when facing dwarf is to run away from dwarf, because, you know, dwarf is slow. I mean, look, this one is quick, but it still has 5 movement points. So as long as I can lure these 2 units, kill them, and then run away from the rest of the dwarves, I should be fine. But I must lure these 2 units now, not later. Now I must lure them and kill them very quickly. Otherwise, I will be into a world of hurt. So this was my plan. This was not my plan, but this was my only chance at surviving. Let's see brown here. And I was really pleased to see that this one is brown, because this means that we can have both perks. So we could be running away from brown, right, which is 3rd player, last AI player, and we could be running towards purple, which is the 1st AI player. So we're running to purple. Purple envelops us and then protects us somewhat from gray and brown. So again, running away from the walled-in faction. The walled-in faction also has wowzers. Wowzers are some of its scariest units. So luckily for us, the scariest units of elf are also the slowest, so it is relatively easy to run far away from them, and that's exactly what I did. Run away from the wowzers, fight 2 factions at once, and be absolutely, be engaged in an absolutely insane fight for survival. This is not going to be nice to watch. If you have heart problems, please go away now. Close this YouTube video. I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to tell you what's going to happen, but it's going to be a bloody fight. And no matter how hard I'm trying to make this map work for me, it's an open map, so it's going to hurt. Hopefully it's going to hurt them more than it's going to hurt me, but we don't know until we see this. So now, really nice here. I got the level 2. I managed to get some nice damage here with Troll Warrior. There is another very sturdy level 2 here, so I have to be really careful how I hold my line. And I'm just going to play single move here, obviously experience into the guy with the artifact. Then I'm still going to keep this Troll Warrior forward, simply because 12-3, well, it's, you know, this one is resilient to blade, so it's more of 10-3. Definitely this amount of hit points should be enough. The only units coming at me would be more Griffin Riders, right? So I should be able to... That was so much fuss for 7 damage. I was a bit frustrated here, so I brought my leader, I believe. Again, moving all my units forward. I really don't care where, but I need to really free up this keep so I can do another set of recruits. And as you can see, I am urgently getting all my units, all my previous units. I'm urgently recalling, and I believe I have 11 gold. I've basically used up all my allowance. I believe this one is a new recruit. Unfortunately for me, it only has +1 damage per level, but I did recruit some nice elvish fighters and some nice trolls. As you can see, I've even marked the one with 3 upkeep. I'm really curious how I dealt with this Griffin Rider. Again, I'm bringing the leader on forest. Luckily for me, the leader does not kill the Griffin Master, so the experience can go somewhere else. This, remember, has the banner. Does he have the banner? Banner, yes. It has the banner. So banner plus leadership. This means that this one deals 12 damage. You see the insane amount of damage there. Remember, Griffin Riders are vulnerable to impact, and this was a 3 upkeep unit, so it was relatively it all basically came nicely together. Now I am putting this Elvish Scout forward simply because if he does have, I mean, firstly, I need to scout. I'm not sure if I keep him forward or not. Again, going for this village right on the very edge, simply because if I do get this village, one of his units will have to go to get this village back. It's how the AI is programmed, so I might as well take advantage of that. And now, basically, I'm banking on this 64 troll warrior surviving, which is not a problem. And I'm banking on this troll whelp 36. That is going to be a problem. However, if you look here, this is the only one dealing real damage, Dwarvish Steelclad. So the Dwarvish Steelclad will deal 11 per hit, most likely. So that would be, let's say, 22 I counted, and then I should be more than fine. Even if he gets 3 out of 3, this would still survive, but then it will be at the mercy of this poacher missing something. So I'm really banking here on getting 2 out of 3 hits, not 3 out of 3, but it's, you know, it's the best I could do. I couldn't just inch a bit forward because then I would be in range of this Dwarvish Thunder Guard, and this would create, I mean, I couldn't get these because it would create so many more complications. It's so much easier to just assume normal luck, right? Plus this one had just 16 XP. Hopefully it will be fine. Let me see. I did lose tons of units in this game, so I'm not really sure what I lost, what I didn't lose. And I'm going to play here the turn. It's really interesting how I lured these units. Again, bringing my units back. No point in just waltzing towards elf. I'm running away from elf. And again, I need to get these villages as well. They are quite spread out. That's why scouts are really important. So again, I am trying to lure this Dwarvish Lord on a weak Drake Fighter. It is weak in terms of resistance, but look at the HP, 51. Nice training here. For example, 13% damage, 6 HP, 10% HP. We already saw the, where is it? We already saw the burner. There should be a burner here. I can't see it now. This one is, yes, this one is the one that got the artifact. So I got the artifact that makes him fearless and undead. So this will be dishing out a lot of damage. Also, I'm trying to lure this trapper with the glider, and the glider is safely at safe distance from this horseman. And now we shall see how purple played. Remember, I'm running towards purple, and this just plays out perfectly. So this is my chance at surviving this game, simply because I'm running towards purple at night, and I'm running away from elf, which is perfect. So this was my window to basically win the game. Otherwise, it would have been really complicated. I would have had, if this was a chaotic faction, I would have had to run in towards this really weird area here, try to delay, and then, now if I think about it, this area wouldn't have been that bad. I could have been able to defend here in these mountains, though this would have made movement a bit odd for me. Mountains, mushrooms, right? Mushrooms, they prevent, they slow down flying units, or other terrain slows down everything else. But I did not choose to box in. I chose to fight. And let us see what happened here. Again, one miss. That's all I needed. And that was absolutely fine. The lure worked here. So I was, again, very pleased to see that. Again, both units, including level 3, coming towards me. And let's see here what happened. Okay, level 3 scout coming at me. It's on 60%. Okay, great. Now, I had another target in the likes of these Steelclads. So as long as I can deal with these level 2s first, then the rest of level 1s I could theoretically tank. So, again, really, really important, because this one has banner, right? So really important to lead your units. I mean, look, this is a level 3 enchantress, and I went straight for the general, talking about level 2s. Even if it was a knight coming this general can really make these units extremely powerful even during nighttime. So I made it a priority to eliminate this general along with this level 2. Decent hits here, can't really complain. Again, this is a white mage with leadership, with banner, and look at the damage there. Perfect experience also into the white mage, has a really high experience pool, definitely not wasted experience there. And obviously I needed to, again, 70%, why not? This is a nice little area here which is protected by this impassable mountain, and I could get my units on forest and on mountain and I would be absolutely protected. Of course I couldn't slow that dwarf, I couldn't slow down that dwarf, but at least the second druid was able to get the job done. So as long as I slowed him, I can forget about him for a while, simply because I used all my main damage dealers here on the level 3. So that's fine. If you have to kill 2 units, you don't have enough damage dealers for that, prioritize the unit which has the most, it has the highest level, eliminate it and slow down the other unit if you have the privilege of having slow mages in your army. So I'm just going to play side turn here. Okay, so as you can see here, forming a line. This one is on 60%, 49 hit points. I'm not too bothered about these fences, right? I'm not too bothered at all. I'm just making sure the fencer can't really take, if fencer comes here to zone of control, this apothecary, then he will be dead. This one is on 60%, 38 hit points. Not really that bothered either. Also with leadership, this one is on 60%. So as you can see here, this one is on this mountain. However, it can only be attacked from 2 sides because of this wonderful clouded mountain here. This one here is on 40%, however, only has 1 slot. And I'm basically relying on the 64 Elder Wows to survive because I have a lot of Pierce coming. So I wanted the Wows to face these Pierce damage dealers. I did not even want to give on the Troll Warrior too many slots, simply because a unit may choose to suicide on the Troll Warrior, and this Troll Warrior, especially on 30%, might die really, really quickly. Also, something that you always need to abuse in these games is ambush, night stalk, concealment, right? So I'm trying to lure this outrider towards this elvish scout, or at least this dwarf. Remember, this outrider is the one playing last, right? So basically I will be luring this Thunder Guard out on 30%, trying to lure him, saying, look, there's a nice juicy scout for you here. So that was, again, an important thing to look out for. Here the Ghost, again, it's trying to slow down these units as much as possible. I would rather use it for village grabbing and diversion tactics rather than in the actual defense, simply because it's just so easy for the Ghost to die. It only has 32 hit points. So I thought to myself, the best way to use the Ghost is to divert enemies away from me. Now here, I absolutely need to eliminate these units. So that's why I'm going with leadership, and this should deal a lot of damage. Fire, extremely efficient versus walls. So I only hit once. So yeah, however, 1 more fire damage dealer, both taking advantage of leadership. Look how much damage they dealt. If this one would have hit, a bit more, this damage would have been a bit more significant. Let's look here. The Dark Sorcerer, nice to his, and this is already a solved problem. I don't remember who I gave the experience to. I wanted to give the experience to the one with the artifact. Again, I was able to walk around due to this distract aura here. Really, really useful. I didn't want to give the experience to the glider. That would have felt like a bit of a waste. So making a level 2 adept, especially one that has an artifact, a very legitimate use of that experience. However, I used all my damage dealers here. I do have some melee damage dealers on this side. However, I have to be really careful with this horseman. It deals a lot of damage. Same for this long bowman. So I need to cover this glider. In however way I choose to kill this trapper, I have to cover my units. So again, 60% here, really reliable. He won't die to whatever is, he shouldn't die to whatever is thrown at him. Healer right in the middle here, perfect use. And I put the bones on this side simply because bones, as you know, perfect versus Pierce, and some standard village grabbing and bringing my units together. Okay, so as you can see, this does not have a great target. It can only go for the clasher, which would be his demise. It could go for the bones, which is a waste of time. It could go for this, but Dark Sorceress, but he only has one slot on the Dark Sorceress. So again, I was able to, it was really lucky that I was able to kill with this Necrophage from one hit, simply because it enabled me to have a better defense. I need to run towards purple, but at the same time, I shouldn't be running towards my death. I used up my damage dealers, most of them, now I need to protect them. I'm running with the speed of my damage dealers, right? So now let's see how purple played it. Perfect. This is a unit with only one. This is just a waste of time for him. Again, waste of time for him. He went for the unit that had only one tile available. So remember that. If you try to lure an AI with a weak unit, as long as it has one tile available, he will go for it. And now remember, this horseman is on 30%. Okay, now here, this is basically a meat grinder. However, I have to be careful here. He did not go for shooting people, which was a bit annoying, because that meant my oh, okay, never mind. It's Gray's turn now, so confusing you, ladies and gentlemen, here. Okay, ambushed there on the Griffin Rider, which is equally nice. Perfect time of day as well, because this is basically determining dwarf to recruit a lot of outlaw units. And you see here with the placement of my Elvish captain, I was able to lure most of these units on this side, whereas I intend to attack on this side towards purple. So again, using whatever tactics I can to try and confuse my opponent. Look, he's just wasting a lot of time here, and I'll be running towards purple, and that would be exactly how I want my enemies to be coming at me. That is a very nice placement for the Outrider as well, on 40%, surrounded by my castle, which would enable me to deal tons of damage to him. This has an artifact, so this should be a high priority target, because on death he will drop that artifact and I'll be able to reuse it. Again, every turn, make sure you are able to use your leader. As you saw there, I'm making best use of my units. I put the experience on the level 1 with melee drain, and I was attacking with magic melee targets and with melee range targets. So pretty basic Wesnoth knowledge, but you know, it doesn't have to be rocket science to be beautiful. As long as you apply basic principles, they can be taking you to victory. And you see how nice here, this clump of terrain here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 high defense terrain where units can't really, you know, because of this mountain here, they can't really take advantage of it. It's really, really frustrating for them. And I don't really care about their high terrain, because I do have some serious magic damage dealers, and I have 70%, 60, or 50, but it's still good enough, 50 again. And I don't care at all about purple at this point. I only care about dwarf, but I have already eliminated all the important targets, right? There's really nothing to be worried about here. There is no threat that can come towards me. I mean, he can try to shoot this troll, but even if he shoots 3 out of 3, this troll will still survive. Yeah, so it seems on this side, at least from a dwarf perspective, problem solved. I've killed all the level 2s. The rest is more or less, I mean, they can still be scary, but the rest are cannon fodder. So you see, I took care of dwarf, managed to lure the right units in. Now I can deal with the level 2s from elf, which is the correct order. Now here it's incredibly complicated. As you can see, I'm using distract to be able to go around this high profile target, and again trying to upgrade the units with artifacts, bringing the ghost in because I want the ghost to not be exposed to this, and I can even pause here. So I want the ghost to not be exposed to this red mage, right? What is the scariest unit at this point? The scariest unit on this battlefield is, well, this Elvish Avenger. So I should definitely try to run away from this Elvish Avenger, right? No matter what, this should be my #1 priority. Run from this Elvish Avenger. But I'm running from the Elvish Avenger into the Red Mage. So obviously I'm using my Ghost, my Wraith, relatively early, so I can stay away from this Red Mage. So with this being said, let's see, play single move here. Again, I'm moving away from the Elvish Ranger. I'm moving on 50%. And that would have to do 58 hit points, should be enough for a defense, considering that most of these units are outlaws. He can only attack me with 1 fighter. That should be good enough of a defense. And remember, whenever I make a move, I should be getting a kill in order to be efficient. If I just move around, I would be absolutely overwhelmed. But I got already 9 kills, and making a move, at least making significant damage, right? I didn't get a kill there, but I did cause significant damage. This one has only 1 hit point to leveling up, so that was again a very good defense tower here, because no matter what attacks it, this will turn into level 2. Similar idea here with the glider, although the glider is a bit more exposed, simply because if, for example, this horseman attacks the glider and then another unit, this glider might die. So this is, I think, something I overlooked in game. I did not see that this horseman can actually reach the glider. I thought these are top. At top, I was quite well defended, so I did not really bother to look at those gliders. Again, healers in the middle, trying to prioritize experience. I need to make, as I'm running, as I'm plowing through these purple units, and I will need to run. I will need to basically charge for my life, because if my charge stops, if my charge becomes stale, that's when my life becomes stale. That's when my whole Drake army dies. So I was planning, instead of investing in this necrophage, which would have needed tons of experience to become level 3, better to invest in these level 1s. And as I plow through my enemies, I turn them into level 2s, and that would be the main mechanics that would keep me in the game. See, scouting here with the bat. You see here there's a block of unit, line here, really difficult to execute, and you have to make sure that the units on this line, right, the units on this line are not that vulnerable to these units, and the units on this line are not that vulnerable to these units, because if you swap them around, it's problematic. Also, units that are vulnerable to everything, they should be in the middle. So for example, this ghost, it's vulnerable to these ranged attacks, backstabbing, etc. Anyway, I put this forward simply because it has 41 hit points and it is a tank, right? So it should basically lure some units. That's it. Line of units, 1 pushed forward, 1 tank pushed forward for luring extra attacks, and this skeleton, which has great stats to probably cover my retreat. This is probably cannon fodder more than anything because he can't really keep up with the rest of the army. So really nice formation here. Really wanted to show you guys that this is insane. But if something insane, some insane attack would succeed, this would be the formation to use when executing it. So he went for the level 2. Again, got a that was really unfortunate. 2 out of 2 versus 40%. I guess it can happen, but I just didn't see that horseman that it could basically. Okay, that was really good. That was really good for me. So I was unlucky there with the glider, but I was lucky with the with my mage, with my dark sorcerer. I did not get a lot of damage. It's more important. I mean, rather than me dealing a lot of damage with the red mage, it's more important for this unit not to get that much damage in, because this is a core damage dealer. I need to be able to move freely around and attack units with it. I could always use some other units on the red mage. However, now I'm in a tight spot. And this Drake is going to hug me as well. So you see him shooting here. You see, again, Dwarf is basically hugging me there really tightly, and that was a disaster there with the backstab. I was really sad when I saw it. I really thought that was my end. That is a difficult situation to get out from, and if I'm going to get out from it, then I really need to abuse my corruption artifacts, right? Because the corruption artifacts, they generate a distract aura, right? So that distract aura enables me to move a bit, to escape enemy's zone of control. Without this escape aura, I would have never been able to do what I was planning on doing. So now we'll see also Elf, being annoying. The beauty of it is that he doesn't have a lot of units coming, right? Because his units are relatively slow. For example, the Wowsers, right? They are relatively slow. I mean, you see these units I've already dispatched of the equivalent level 2 units from Dwarf. They are coming quite late to the party, and they are attacking from a nice area where I can reinforce and they can be on flat. So from this perspective, I wasn't too worried about this. Again, but the problem is all my damage dealers were here, and now the important units, the strong units, were coming from the south. So I was kind of stuck here, but I'm still eliminating enemies. So right, I went for this 70%. It was the only chance. You see these, they are making wonders. These on 70%, these druids, they are really making wonders here. Again, 60% with the troll. That is a really difficult army to fight into. And guess what the AI did? He fought into that army simply because, well, that's how AI works. Now here, again, I was trying to keep 70%, 60%, 60%. So I was trying to keep some sort of line, but see the corruption aura there, dealing damage, 3 damage left and right. So I was trying to keep a nice formation there, but I realized that perhaps some of my units, for example, this troll, he could go for him, and he could have with the adept 2 hits. He could have with the elvish hero lots of hits. He could even have some hits with the ghoul and was in danger. So I decided to be on the safe side, basically lure him with my scout and make sure that even this elvish archer, to be honest, I mean, if you went with the elvish hero for the elvish archer, then I would have been in a lot of trouble. So I decided to lure some units with the elvish scout. Now, in terms, and if you look at this formation, I was fine here on this side. Again, this is my absolutely strong zone. There's no way that anybody can do anything here on the southern flank. I had the wows on this side covering all incursions from the west, and I had recently upgraded level 2 on this side. But if you look at it, this is where I am low on a unit. So yeah, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, I'm sure red killed more units than these 16 that we see for green. Let's see here. I'm going to play single move. This is really important. So again, I need to kill all these units. I need to kill these purple units so I can break free. So I'm trying to use the tanks first. Why? Because if the tanks attack, tanks may, perform the kills, and they stay behind. So they should be my old western flank, right? So that's why I attack with a 50% necrophage, although he's more a liability than anything else because he has only 28 hit points left. So this is, let's say, an odd one. However, he's resistant to pierce. So what's coming for me is pierce. So it's not that bad. I was really happy to get two hits here. It was really crucial. The more 2 out of 2 hits I can get, the better for me. So let's see here. Okay, using my healers first. Absolutely important to use the healers as early as possible, because why? They deal damage and it's difficult to find a safe position for them. So if you can use them early, then you can use other units to cover them, right? So it's not always possible. Also, you have to be careful not to waste the experience on the healer. So it's really difficult to manage. This is a really important area here with the corruption. This was not done, this is not unintentional. This is purely intentional. I wanted to have this area here. Why? Because now my units, you see, they can ignore the cavalryman zone of control. And once this spearman dies, then my units can ignore this area from the red mage. So that was a really important placement here. And you see it's on 50%. It's going to become the new western front line. So really important how I was able to run away. I'm using this one early. Why? Because it's weak and it needs to be in the middle. So this is like western line forming. This is middle, and this would be eastern line. Why I need to push that far? I need to make sure that these units somehow push very far. Why? Because I need to eliminate these horsemen as soon as possible. These horsemen, as you can see, if they get lucky, they just exchange blows with units. They die in the process, but they also kill your units. So I needed to basically go for that horseman. That's why I went so far with the 56 Dark Sorcerer, placed him on 60%, and I said, I have to kill this horseman, and I just need to take a gamble. This one needs to survive. It's 60%. It's night. There's no reason why it shouldn't survive as long as I can kill the horseman. 2 horsemen, that's a different story, but I desperately need to kill that horseman. So again, this one is a 88 HP Fire Drake. So really happy I managed to level him. You see, as you can see, turning level 1 into level 2, because now he can become my next defense tower. I really don't care if he is on 30%. 1 horseman won't scare him away. So that was again my eastern front line in the making. Again, putting this one in the middle as well. It's badly hurt, but nobody has an excuse. You're badly hurt, you go in the middle, but you have to, attack. You have to fully utilize your units. Otherwise, it's not going to work, right? You can't have, you can't be idle. If you are idle, and you see, I'm ignoring this cavalryman simply because I have this aura here. This aura enables me to ignore the cavalryman for a while so that I can focus on the core units. This red mage needs to die so the ghost can be a bit more free. Okay, only 1 hit there. It's very sad to see that. At least this one with leadership is able to get the job done. It's really unfortunate that the skeleton had to become a middle unit. I was hoping that the skeleton would be a western flank unit, but again, if I move all these units, remember, Dark Sorcerer, this is my eastern flank, and he can also be, I don't think 28 hit points, I don't think he needs cover. Sure, this dwarvish fighter is scary, but I do need to take some risks. 28 hit points on a bone warrior, that should be relatively okay. Again, healer here, which means that I've seeing how hurt this skeleton is, seeing how this one, the Elvish captain, needs healing, this one needs healing, this one needs healing. I've decided basically to shift my western line not here, but here. So if you think about it, I've only moved an inch towards the right with my western front line, but on the eastern side, I really went deep into enemy territory. So it doesn't look more, it doesn't look like a line, it looks more like a triangle, like an arrow, right? So decided to shift my front line. Great, that is an important hit there. If that missed 2 out of 2, I would have been absolutely destroyed. And bone on the corner, right, on the northern flank. Really important hit as well. And now with these here, I can, close down my front line and I should be fine. I think I did enough. 16 units killed. Okay. So see, only one mage can attack this ghost. I'm taking a gamble with this Dwarvish Thunderer, but I need to take some gamble. I can't just let them, do whatever they want. I can't let them box me in like they did last time. You saw how difficult it was to break free. I need to keep some sort of more advanced line, so I have some breathing space, right? I can't be like in a sandwich all the time, because what I did here with the aura might not work next time. I need to take some risks. So I took a small risk there with the ghost. I think I can handle one mage, and that was basically it. You see this skeleton, again, trying to lure some attacks, trying to do the same thing what the ghost did here, trying to make a bit of an arch, right? Trying to give me some breathing space, win some breathing space to these units, because you can see they are starting to be badly hurt. Still no units. I mean, am I seeing red now? Probably I'm seeing red. Anyway, there's lots of kills on the green side, I can assure you. Okay, as you can see, purple saved me there, right? Purple basically stole one slot. That was really, really, really close. So there was another horseman in the background, and that horseman went for the 60% target. This target basically was able to tank 4. It's a 60% target with 52 hit points. You would expect it to tank 4. However, I did not expect 2 horsemen. I mean, if it was 4 normal units, 3 normal units and a horseman, yes, but 2 horsemen, that was really, that gave me a heart attack. However, if you look now, I've basically gotten rid of all level 2s from purple. Purple has no more level 2s, so this should just be a case, again, in theory, it's always difficult to find the right damage to, these are quite bulky units. It's difficult to find the damage to eliminate these bulky units, but yeah, now it should be a bit more comfortable, because I don't have to deal with level 2 units. I've eliminated them all from the purple side. Now let's see what dwarf is doing. Perfect. I love footpads. Footpads deal absolutely no damage. Again, these are unfortunate hits here. He's being very efficient with the attacks. However, not enough to kill me. You see here, if there wasn't a purple unit there, I would have been dead. But the purple unit kind of prevented a dwarf unit from hitting me appropriately. Oh, another reason why I pushed the ghost forward, to protect my leader. As you can see, if my leader got shot, I would have been in a dire situation. So I preferred to risk the ghost rather than risk the leader. So yeah, the ghost was there to save my leader. I didn't particularly want to risk the life of that ghost, but there was no other way. Now you see here, again, I attacked purple, I attacked grey. All of their level 2s are dead because they were the enemies close to me. Because I'm running away from brown, I mean, obviously I played, so because I chose to play versus purple and black first, I eliminated their level 2s. Now the brown level 2s and level 3s are running towards me, but I'm already enveloped in level 1 units from purple and grey. So that is the perfect direction to fight in, perfectly aligned with the time of day. If this was chaotic, it would have been a bit awkward. I wouldn't have probably had to apply a really weird strategy where I try to slow down units, get them into these swamps and forests and mountains, and probably stay there for ages before red could come and save me. So yeah, it worked out perfectly well. Now you see, I mean, this archer can still hit the clasher, but it's still not the best target. I mean, imagine he had the fighter. He would have definitely killed the fighter, because he's left with the very last unit, which is full hit HP. He can't really kill anything. So you should see here, he still goes for the troll. No, you see, mission done, mission accomplished with this scout. Again, went there, can't really kill it. Forgot about this bat. So annoying. When you have these many units, it's easy to forget, even if you use the N hotkey for cycling through units. And you see here, this should have been normally with the main army, but it's way behind. And this would enable me, I mean, I have the Elvish hero on 40% because he went for the scout. So now it's really important for me, I believe, to, I mean, this is an issue, so I have to be careful how I play around it. Over my level, my 70 HP druids have done a fantastic job evading and absorbing attacks, but I do need to deal with this Elvish hero in one way or the other. This deals too much damage. It shouldn't be allowed to stay alive for long. This Illuminate aura is actually working towards me, if I can manage to kill the Elvish hero. So let's see how I did this. As you can see, I'm starting with the Elvish hero. Nice damage there with the White Mage. That was the correct decision, because the Elvish hero is a bit vulnerable to arcane attacks. So let's see here. Again, ranged there. Great experience there. It's absolutely fantastic news that I only needed to use 2 level 2s there. And that was a bit unfortunate. I really need to clear this Dark Adept. At least this one hit twice now. So, and now I need to go for this White Mage if possible. Do I have enough resources? Because this, remember, this one has Distract. So again, this was intentionally put there because it has this Distract aura. It enables me to gain 1 more slot on this White Mage. So I have 4 slots with the Ghost. If I can kill the White Mage, the Ghost can come into play. So this is again really important here. As you can see, I'm prioritizing these units there. And there you go. So I managed to get the experience into this Elvish fighter. Remember, I used ranged attacks, I used melee attacks depending on my target. So I managed to cleanly manage the experience. It started in the beginning when I got that level 2 Griffin, right? 16 experience. So quietly in the background, managing experience and allocating it to the right units. This unit, which has drains, now is about to become a level 2. And yeah, I mean, it doesn't even need healing because it will heal itself. Always put experience into units with artifacts. Now, if this one missed, I would have had other units, including this Ghost, to deal with that. So now I am going to, considering how well things went top, I don't need to bother too much on this side to bring them, bring this unit there and then bring one of these units here. I don't need to bother that much. It went very well top. I have no problems. I mean, top. I need bottom. I can continue to do what I was doing so far. But I'm trying to protect this Elvish Druid a bit because he only has 28 hit points. And if this Shock Trooper gets lucky, he might die. So, but I'm pushing the other one, which has 37 hit points, right? So again, Mage needs to die because Mage obviously ignores defense. And there you go. Another level 2 troll with free upkeep. Again, I have identified 2 important units at the beginning. I even showed them to you, right? Free upkeep and the one with the artifact. And as you can see, I've tried to the best of my ability to dump experience into them, and it paid off. Unless this one gets really lucky here, I mean 2 out of 2, then this Elvish Druid should survive. So problem solved here. Now I can even free up this warrior, or perhaps keep him there. I'm not sure. Okay, So now because I chose to use this wows, I need to make sure I surround it, right? And also here, why did I use this wows? Because if you look, again, look at the order of play. So I have purple, then I have dwarf, and then I have elf. So elf has blade. Elf is the most dangerous here. But because I have ranged, I have really weak units that are chaotic, dwarf is protecting me from elf. So that's why I chose to keep the wows where he was. But obviously I need to make sure this doesn't go in and creates a free slot for elf, right? So I need to make sure of that. This is wasted experience. However, I really need to eliminate as many opponents as possible, right? I'm in a difficult spot as it is. Experience management is for good times, not for difficult times. In difficult times, we need to prioritize survival and damage dealing. Again, this one could be a decoy. This one could walk in and shoot it, and this one might try to finish it, but at least it protects this wows. Oh, never mind that. Nice hits there from the troll warrior. And as you can see, I fully utilized all my units. I have nothing left. Perhaps this merman, I'm not sure if I used it. I used it. I'm trying to lure some units away from the main battle. Great, so 23-1 top. It's going really well top. And bottom, it's not that bad. However, this clump of units here, it will be a challenge to clean up. So I'm starting with this. It's not the best use of the aura. Probably I should have put him there, but I'm not sure I had that high reach, because if I had him here, I could perhaps ignore a bit and go around this archer. However, the archer is not the problem, because the archer is on 20% defense. This is a problem. So from this perspective, this particular tile, the forest tile, is still distracted, so it's still fine. And again, this should be my middle. I'm using these. As you can see, I'm trying to form an area of distraction, right? This 8 here, it looks exactly like an 8. That should help me to walk around the enemy units. Oh, that was really important there. If that would have missed, that would have been terrible. Okay, it's a bit unfortunate that the healer got the experience, but had this right to go around. But it's more important to eliminate units and survive at this point rather than manage experience. First survive, then you can manage experience. This was a bit unfortunate because it has 88 HP. It would have been much better suited in defending, but because this horseman is such an important target, I had to use this one as a damage dealer rather than as a defender. It is optimal to use it as both a damage dealer and a defender somewhere top, but then I would have had to attack the bowman, which felt a bit, it's not that important. Plus, I did not have enough damage to kill this horseman unless I use this fire drake. So high priority target there. And this almost acts like a punching bag. I really don't care if this one survives. It's part of the eastern flank. I just put it there as far up as possible so that it can draw hits. Again, 60%. This would have to fend for himself a bit. Again, this Drake Glider is preventing most of these units from messing with this Fire Drake. There is a bowman here, but I'm covering it with the leader. So Fire Drake and leader, saving the day. On this particular side, I have the bones here, and I have to use this Necrophage. It's 31 HP, but what I'm hoping is that, again, purple and grey will envelop me and save me from this level 3 Avenger once more. It's unfortunate that this sorceress can reach my skeleton. I'm again hoping that purple and grey will again envelop me. The fact that I went for purple and grey meant, as I said before, I managed to eliminate the most critical units. Now I will be enveloped by weak units, protecting me from the tough units that brown still has in the game. Okay, this would have to do, basically, this Drake fighter's life is on the line. But I have here a skeleton, which I forgot about, and the skeleton comes to save the day. Basically, the skeleton says, attack me, don't attack these guys, and suddenly this seems like a much better plan with the skeleton on the village, simply because I really don't care if he dies, simply because now these units will be able to envelop me, and then Elf will do absolutely nothing. Maybe he will go for this skeleton, which I don't really care about. There's one glitch in my plan though. So I'm kind of forced to put this Soothsayer here, 40 HP though. 40 HP, it's quite strong. And remember, it's not the heroic one, right? So this needs to defend simply because I've been pampering my healers. I've been keeping them in the middle, and now all my other units are so injured that I'm kind of forced to use the Soothsayer. But again, I'm hoping that he won't be using his mages on me, which is a long shot, but again, and I'm running away from these mages with the ghost. There are some ranged units running about, but again, it's a risk I would have to take. Remember, the ghost has a lot of resistance, and as long as it's far away from the mages, it should have no problem surviving a bit of good old-fashioned attacks. I mean, it still has full HP and it's a level 2. It should survive those, but it kind of got stuck here. I couldn't kill the northern units, so I kind of had to push it away. That was a bit unfortunate, a bit let's say a bit unnatural, but as long as I got it away from the mages, it should have been fine. Really important how he prioritizes here. He goes for this Drake Glider and he hits. This means I'm safe. The mages, for their own sake, to protect themselves, they won't go for the Soothsayer simply because they will get a lot of damage. And yes. Okay, so there it is. Means that the glider is the one taking the heat there. Yes, mages go for the glider, and the day is saved. There's no way he's gonna go for the Soothsayer now. So yes, finally the decoy worked, and now he's going to go for the lone unit. He only has one slot here, and this unit survives. Even if he had 3 out of 3, there was no way. So I've only lost the glider in all this business, and we should see also. Okay, that is a bit unfortunate here. I was just stretched too thin. There was no way I could defend against. So in hindsight, I could have placed this fighter here, but I forgot about this skeleton, right? The skeleton would have protected me. So now I lost another fighter, but it was not the fighter with a lot of experience, right? So again, when you are stretched too thin, you are going to lose some units. Mistake from my side. I should have remembered the skeleton and I should have placed the fighter here. I could have probably saved him. Again, purple, not doing a lot of damage, but preventing other units, for example, preventing this Thunderer from, wow, here, in this particular case, it's perfect use of the Bowman, right? Because the Bowman is great counter to the Clasher. However, it's still nice, simply because even if the Clasher dies, I would still have the skeleton and the Necrophage holding the line. So, okay. This is what I feared. 3 out of 3 on my Soothsayer. That was really, really, really unfortunate there. So it seems that I am the end. I'm at the end of my luck. So I'm just going to play side's turn here. That's not going to do anything. Let's see here. The dwarf. Yeah, that was bound to die. Oh, I lost one healer, but remember, it was not a heroic healer. It was not a heroic unit. So, they are still good. Archer survived. Ghost unscathed so far. It's looking good, ladies and gentlemen. I think we did it. I think we did it. We did it. There's no way we are going to lose any other unit this turn. Okay, so again, these two units enveloped my skeleton. So now this Elvish Enchantress can't really hit me. Hopefully. Oh, I forgot about the bat again. This is what happens when you are managing so many units. You are bound to make mistakes. Wow. Two out of two. 3 out of 3, I guess. But that skeleton lives to delay another day. Okay, Bread is doing absolutely fantastic. Remember, Drake was the one taking most of the heat, but I've lost a few units with Drake. I've lost the Glider, I've lost the Clasher, I've lost the Healer, which hurts the most, and I've lost the Elvish Fighter. Drake Fighter. I could have said the Drake. I could have saved the Drake Fighter, but then I would have perhaps I would have put the Drake Flare in danger. So 4 units lost. 5 if you think about the previous Drake Glider that I lost here. 5 units lost. However, none of them are core units. Core units are the ones that are heroic, the ones with artifacts, and the ones with lots of experience. For example, this healer was a core unit, right? So that's the only core unit that I lost. So because it was a fully fledged level 2. However, I believe, I mean, it's still difficult here. You see, I have this envelope around me. I need to break free, and my units are all badly injured, so it would be really interesting to see how Green plays it here. It's just a walk in the park at this. I chose to give this artifact to the Wows. Why? Because the Wows has great traits from training, and at the same time it benefits from Illuminates, right? It's a lawful unit. So, because I don't have a lot of lawful units in my army. They are either chaotic or right? Chaotic or neutral. If you think about it, another lawful unit that I had was this White Mage. But this White Mage, if you think about it, this White Mage will get Illuminate at level 3 anyway, so it's a waste on him. And at the same time, he is fearless, right? Fearless, so it deals its damage, plus it can get into the area of the Wows. So realistically, I got it more for making sure this Wows will be free upkeep. Of course, it helps the Wows. It basically makes the Wows fearless. This is, this Wows is trained, right? Distract, ambush. So, and also it reminds me of the fact that this is a distract aura. It's visually quite interesting, right? So, I mean, visually it aids me to remember that this has distract as well. This one has fearless. So again, little benefit from this Illuminates aura. The only unit that I could have used with this artifact was the Elder Wows, which I did. So at least now my Wows has no impact. No upkeep. Again here, really need to go for these south units. Trying to manage experience as well. You see the space. I'm struggling for space. Yeah, I'm trying to get in range of this mage. I'm trying to keep this Drake Flare safe. Also trying to kill a unit. Trying to do a lot with very little. A bit unfortunate here that I did not get a third because I'm really starving for units. Well, I guess this helps me work towards leveling up this skeleton, which is always nice. Must use healer on this fencer. There's no other way. I'm really curious whether... Okay. Used magic there as much as possible. Oh, that was really a relief. Had that missed, it would have become impossible to manage. So this went well. I kind of again kept pushing my way through towards purple and away from elf. Okay. Very weak unit. I'm keeping it behind the main defense line. And this one has to be my defense tower north, simply because it has 88 hit points. Luckily for me, this time I can use it as both a defense tower and an attack weapon. 60% here. That's a solid defender. Now I need to bring this here and eliminate the mage. Really important. Oh, never mind. I'm ignoring the mage. Let me think why. Yes, of course I'm ignoring the mage. Simply because mages won't go for this fire drake. This mage might go for this soothsayer, but it will die in one. This mage will not go for the dark sorcerer because it will die in one. So mages won't attack me. Mages are not a problem. As long as I stay away. So you see drakes and all these units can kill the mages. They are too weak. I would have to basically rely on the fact that they are weak. Now this is really okay. I have to put my healer forward. There's no other way. Otherwise this drake fighter will die. So I have basically my more or less my only 4-5 units. Let's say I have 6 units that can defend. 6 units left that can defend. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units exposed. This one is not a brilliant defender, but it's hidden well enough away from the Griffin Rider. So I'm really struggling here. But the worst, I feel that the worst has now passed. And yeah, this one should be fine now. Luckily for me, I did not forget about this ghost. 19. He's fine. He's fine though. Nobody else can reach him. And he will be healed soon. So let's see. Perfect misses there. Oh, that I just love. Whenever I see a ranged unit doing melee attacks, I just love. As you see, the mages were too scared to do anything. And now I will be defending versus dwarf. Perfect. That just delays things even further. Another ranged unit doing melee attacks. Footpad, absolutely useless. Love it when he blocks the path for his friends. And this, I don't know what this is doing here. This dwarvish fighter probably came here to feed. Too scared to attack. And I don't even care what happens to this skeleton. It has already done its job. This side doesn't matter anymore. That was really important there. That was important. Had that died, although it was quite difficult, he needed 3 out of 3 to be honest. But the fact that that healer, had I lost one more healer, that would have been a good game. I needed this healer to stay alive. So from this perspective, the ranged units did melee attacks because they were scared for their own lives. So that worked out pretty nicely. And I believe we did it, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. It's just experience management at this point. And of course, trying to finish this. I mean, it's turn 9 and I'm already clearing up units. So this, if I finish this early, this will set up a wonderful scenario 4. It's really important now. We are thinking about scenario 4 and scenario 5. We are not in this game anymore. We are just here to collect experience, finish early, collect early finish bonus. You see this aura here is just doing so much. It has dealt so much free damage. Now I can finally get some breathing room. Oh, that was a relief there. Had that missed, that would have been. Oh, that's a pain. But it's not okay. That could have been a bit better. Kinda. Okay. That worked out well. I need to protect this elvish captain, and I'm lucky enough to have this fire drake with tons of HP. And level 2, and that's already problem solved on this side, I feel. Yeah, these units. He can't plow through all these units. it's impossible. He could try to go for the Revenant, but the Revenant is just too beefy to die. There is an Elvish Archer here, and there is a Cavalryman, which again, it's so easy to forget about, but I do have a Ghost. And the Cavalryman is going for 3 out of 3. Why is he? Oh my god, he's doing so much damage. That's not going to do anything. Again, protecting me from Elvish Enchantress, which is the most important. Yeah, that didn't do much. So annoying, he got 2 out of 2. But that's not going to do what is it? So there are some Elvish units catching up on this side, but I believe it's too little too late. I've managed to run my way through the purple army away from the Elvish army. And that shows you that there are two main ways to play this world conquest. You could buckle up and defend, make a box and say, no, you shall not pass, nobody passes through. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it, you can, if the map is open and obviously you don't have the first option, you can basically try to attack your weaker opponent at the right time of day and run away from your stronger opponent. And most of the time I see players fail when they get an open map and their strategy to passively defend fails. Sure, they are doing some nice lures and they are killing some units, but eventually they get overrun simply because there are too many good units arriving pretty much at the same time. So from this perspective, it leads me to believe, and I've had even a discussion with Dauntless about this, it leads me to believe that speed is actually underrated. So imagine me having speed from the beginning. Obviously, you might argue you wouldn't have had the hit points to survive for that long. I mean, look at this Fire Drake, right? He has a lot of plus 10% HP, plus 2 HP per level, plus 4 HP. So I was able to defend so well because I had such a Fire Drake that did not need to fear anything at all, right? So from this perspective, yes, hit points did save me, but getting speed at level 1 will ensure basically that most of your units are quite maneuverable, right? You could have strategic objectives around the map and you would have the necessary speed to fulfill these strategic objectives, right? So without it, it would be a bit more difficult. In this case, I was fast enough. And as you can see, once you get boxed in, it's not about speed anymore, but perhaps I could have been a bit more proactive. I could have run away to safety in some cases where I just didn't have that extra movement to make the right placement. Also, speed level 2, it might give you that optional charge, which is absolutely phenomenal, but it has a very low probability. So arguably, you could say the earlier you get it, the better. But again, with an army with speed level 2, you might end up having 2 squishy soldiers. Anyway, just an idea, just food for thought. Speed is not as useless as people might think. Now, let's see here. This is just cleaning up basically at this point and getting there. See, drain, very powerful. Just going to play this. Nice little twos there in the nick of time. I'm being very careful here. I don't want to get in range of... Not sure why I did not push this ghost forward. I'm not sure. Probably trying to lure with this elvish captain. Lure some more so I can get... Becomes easier to kill. Remember, this is blue's bonus point. Oh, this is so annoying. So you can already see that dwarf and purple, we don't have that many units left. Elf is going strong, but because I've ran away from Elf the whole game, it doesn't really matter. Basically, Elf is fighting alone at this point. You see how many units I managed to avoid by running towards east. So it is... It's absolutely unbelievable. Many units. I'm not really sure. That must have been a mistake here. I must have clicked ranged by mistake because I'm not really sure. I was thinking I was going to do melee, but for some reason Wesnoth automatically gave me ranged. And when I saw that I was actually ranging the adept, I thought, oh my god, what am I actually doing? That was really scary there. Did I actually range the adept? That was really unnecessary. Okay, bonus point finally. Another bonus, another training. Movement training level 1. Perfect. So I got 2 training levels in this scenario. This is absolutely fantastic. This means that green finally does stand a chance. So he managed to catch up with red in terms of bonuses, and lots of green units died. So it's especially beneficial that I got 2 training points in this scenario, because this means my fresh army, which I'm going to recruit in next scenario, is going to be that much stronger. So yeah, this is basically game over. I'm trying to run away from this horseman. I just don't want to take unnecessary risks at this point. Probably the best move would have been to fight this army, but now basically I let them live. They can hit me with furious anger. It's getting low. Oh, thank God. 2 out of 2 here would have been absolutely disastrous. That would have been disastrous. I just did not want to lie around waiting for this horseman to kill me, right? So it's still not over yet. Still need to kill all these leaders, and I needed to do it in a time efficient manner. But see, I don't really care that much. I need to clear these units because there is a red mage coming, right? I can't, it's just annoying that I can't really manage experience that well. Okay, I'm just going to hit continuous replay here. That should clear all these units on this side. And the ghost should be enough to discourage that horseman from doing anything. And anyway, now obviously I'm sending a group of units towards the center to kill the dwarf. Dwarf will be particularly tough to kill. And I see I'm not getting close to him with just anybody. I'm just getting close to him with a level 3. Also, Elf does have a lot of funds left over, so it would be very difficult to get to him and kill him relatively quickly. He does have that natural defense system, and it will be difficult for me to get in here. It might be a bit of an overcommitment, right? And I believe here I made a mistake. Yeah, it was a mistake here on this side, so I'm just going to play side turn. Great. So this is where I made a terrible mistake. I was tired. It was a relatively long and complex game. So I thought to myself, okay, I have one group of unit and the second group of unit. And basically I can hit first with the first group of unit on the mage, and then the second group of unit can hit the mage. So I went with the first group of units. Okay, I hit the mage. I missed the mage, better said. Okay, I hit him a bit. And then you'll see what happened. That's it. So I completely forgot to move my second group of units. So in my mind, the second group of units was green, or another player, another faction. I forgot they are in the same faction. So basically here, I left for dead this troll. I was scratching my eyes out when I saw this. This was absolutely unforgivable, no matter how tired I was. I should have kept sharp. I mean, I should have mashed that end button, cycle through the units, and these are just the silly moves that you sometimes make and ruin an otherwise perfectly played game. So yeah, I was extremely sad. I was at the mercy of random number generator, and this is an overcommitment here. I don't need all these units to kill this leader, but you know, these are, in my opinion, too slow to do anything else. So we shall see now purple, recruiting and doing nothing else. Dwarf doing absolutely nothing. And now let's see. Now when these mages start hitting, I thought to myself, oh my god, I'm dead. And now this one needed 2 hits. It got none. So that was me being lucky. So this one got, I think, 1 hit. This one got perhaps 2 hits. This one got some hits as well, and this one got only 1 hit. Oh no, 0 hits. He needed 3. So had I lost this Elvish captain, does he have banner? Yes. Does he have banner? Well, is it? I remember him having banner. Yeah, ability banner. Yeah. So losing a leadership unit with banner, that would have been a good game. I don't care. I mean, I could have continued basically and tried, but losing the leadership unit would have meant that I lost the game at scenario 5. Remember, previous time when I did World Conquest, I lost the game at scenario 5 after losing in scenario 2, losing my leadership unit. So leadership unit, you can't really come back from it. So heroic units, units with artifacts, I mean, guard them really, really well. Don't make the mistake that I did here. I should have probably been dead. Really lucky to be alive here. So yeah, that was, so from here on, I don't remember any other setbacks. Getting my level 2s. Great. First hero down, and I'm getting really close to this hero, which is Wows. And now I will just hit continuous replay. and you should see how the rest of the game went. So let me know, guys, how you like this. I feel that there are some interesting ideas as I become more proficient in World Conquest. Really interesting, complex game type. I believe it has a completely different style from ladder, and it basically trains you more from a strategical perspective. I mean, you do have larger armies, and you do need. I mean, I do feel that whenever I lost World Conquest, I lost it because at the beginning of the game I made the wrong strategic decision. It's all about strategy. So, for example, my strategy with green was to run away from elf and go towards purple. Strategically, that was a brilliant decision, I feel. I mean, it was proven by the fact that I basically won the scenario. But had I not won this, I mean, had I not done this, I feel that I would have been in a much dire situation. Perhaps if I managed to go somewhere towards my keep, towards south in those caves, I could have probably defended and stalled for a relatively long time. However, I would have finished the game in a much longer time period, which would have made scenario 4 a bit more difficult. So I believe that going for the all-out attack, aggressive play, really paid off. I might be mistaken. You might say that that was a foolish risk. The way I saw it, it was either fight and win relatively quickly, or sit tight and wait to lose slowly. Either now or at scenario 4 or at scenario 5. Again, it's important that you do finish these relatively quickly so you could get the gold bonus. You see how much gold I have here, 134. Not sure if this, I think this is with the red player and experience into the leadership unit. So important to get a level 3 leader, because with banner and with leadership, level 2 units deal more damage than level 3 units. Anyway, victory is ours. Let us take sail in search of new lands to conquer. And I hope you, ladies and gentlemen, like this. And I shall see you in scenario 4. Really looking forward to that. And really looking forward whether I can make it to scenario 5 again, and whether I can make a much better display in scenario 5, considering all the knowledge I have gathered so far. And yeah, let me know your comments below, any suggestions, and I shall see you later.